Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday Namaste session. For those of you who have been joining us in the last 2 or 3 weeks, there is a song that we have been sharing, a beautiful prayer that came from our good friend Jean-Pierre, the Ho'oponopono. And I think it's going to blend so beautifully with what we're going to share in our session today. I thought we could start off with that again. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. Sing that with me. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. I am you. You are me. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. Sing that with me. I am you, you are me. We are one, we are one. I am you are me. We are one. We are one. I see you and I welcome you. I rejoice in you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. And I love you. I love you. Oh, I love you. One more time. I love you. And I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm going to invite Calico to come up here and join me. Calico and I had a discussion yesterday that I think is really beautiful and important, and so I asked her to join me in this. I'll get it rolling, and then we'll just see where it takes us. So yesterday, I and a few other people had this amazing, beautiful honor of traveling to an area on the lake here, maybe 45 minutes away, that is, we've talked about before, San Pedro. Very, very poor, very, very difficult area, very high level of kidney disease because of the water that they don't have, the food that they don't have. And it was wonderful. I'm so glad that I went. And yet there were so many thoughts running through my brain of what this really is, what this is really saying, and what can this really teach me. So I want to begin by reading something from the Gospel of Matthew. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. You've probably all heard this before. Jesus said, "Depart from me, for when I was hungry, you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." And they answered him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick or in prison, and did not help you?" Then he replied, saying, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of my brothers and sisters, you did not do to me." So we've all heard this before. Whatever you did do to the least of my brothers and sisters, you did to me. Whatever you did not do to the least of my brothers, you did to me. So here's the most important part of this, and really the question that makes the lesson come together. There are no, or I guess the question would be, who are the least? Who are the least of my brothers and my sisters, or the brothers and sisters of the Christ? Who are they? And the answer is they are not. They don't exist. There are no least, except in my mind and my imagination. And if I go into any situation, whether it be San Pedro or down the street or anywhere else, and set in my mind, I am here to serve the least of my brothers and my sisters, then I am not in true service. I'm not being truly helpful, in other words. But if I go into a situation, and no matter what it looks like, if I'm in San Pedro, where the poverty is very obvious in front of me, or if I go into a situation where the poverty is very hidden, where there is the gloss of financial abundance, and I realize in that same situation that it's really ultimately the same, because they are all my brothers and sisters. All that's really saying is, as we heard in the Ho'oponopono, we are one, we are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. So there are no least. And my willingness to go into a situation and see it through those eyes is how I can truly serve. Now, obviously, I'm not saying don't go to San Pedro or wherever else you're called to go and serve. I think what this lesson is all about is, when you're called to do that, do it in the highest possible frequency you can, which is to see them, to truly see them for who they are, not who they're pretending to be. Now, that may sound harsh in and of itself, because they're not pretending to be poor, they are poor. Well, we're all pretending. We're all pretending to be separate. We're all pretending to be something other than the Christ. And the truth is, you are the Christ. You are the perfect, holy child of God, right here, right now. And there are no least brothers, less brothers and sisters at all. And if I can choose in any situation, in particular a situation like we experienced yesterday, then I can, yesterday I was watching these cute little kids form a line. There was about, 100 and something kids, and they form a line with the tiniest ones up front. And then they kind of went up like this, and they just stood there for, 35 minutes or so patient, just stood there helping each other, not arguing, not fighting, just supporting one another until the food finally came. It was beautiful. And my willingness in that moment to see that beauty that helped me not only feed them physically, but to feed my soul by seeing them truly. So, Calico, you and I had a discussion about this yesterday, and it sparked this discovery. So why don't you take it from there and tell me what you see, what you feel in that?
Okay. Do I need to use
Yeah.
this? Okay. Oof. I'm doing my own healing as I'm sitting up here. I just need to be very clear about that. In the parable of Calico, my whole focus has been the injustices of the world and taking them on in any way I could. And then at age 40, I went to Africa because I was making more money than I could possibly have ever imagined at work. Life was good. It was as good as it could possibly get. And I remember it was 91, Christmas Eve. I couldn't sleep. I watched CNN. That always seemed to help. And Somalia was happening. And I made the decision, I'm going to Somalia. I'm going to take care of all these hungry people. And that's a noble idea. And I went for 6 months. I found someone to take over my practice, pay my employees, and just left to feed the hungry. And it was a pivotal turning point in my life on many, many levels. But one of the ones that was there for me that was big, and just to set the stage, when I got to the refugee camp, there were 5,000 refugees. When I left the refugee camp 6 months later, there were 75,000. And there were 20 relief workers. And what I really got was, can't do it. It's not about fixing. And after I came back, I was in just a completely stripped down place. And that's when I started A Course in Miracles very seriously. And all the answers came through A Course in Miracles for me. Not that they were easy answers, because they weren't. I was hardwired to take care of people from a very early age. That was my training, to take care of others. But I didn't have a clue how to take care of myself. And that showed up, so many times in the camp. I made some very dear, dear friends there that happened to be refugees. And I would sit in their blue plastic tents and I would cry. I would be sobbing over something. And they would be just chatting and laughing and having a good time. And I thought, who's suffering here? It's not them. It's me. And that's what I got very clear on. It's my suffering. If I see it in another, it's mine. And I need to really be gentle and drop into that. And what came up, and what popping into mind is this Buddhist story, and I'm going to paraphrase it horribly, but it's, the father had a son, and that's a very good thing. And then the son went to war because all the boys had to go to war, and that's a very bad thing. And he came back and, he got out of the war, and that's a very good thing. And then someone shot him, and that was a very bad thing. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And that's kind of the way I was living my life. This is a good thing, this is a bad thing. If it's a bad thing, I'm going to get involved and try and fix it in some way. If it's a good thing, woohoo, I'll go find the bad thing to get involved with. And that's really the way I had really orchestrated my life. So with San Pedro, it has brought up, and there's areas of unhealed in my mind that I'm clear this is why I'm sitting up here, because I don't want to do this. I was just going to clear with James and be done with it. And then he said, why don't you share it? And it's like, I don't want to share this because, and it's only my own judgment. that I judge people if they're not willing to go all the way. And that's the judgment I hold on myself. And I was actually the first time or second time I was helping with the bags, and it was quite fun joining. And there was a group of us and we were chatting, and it was quite lovely. And then it went from like 60 bags to 120 bags to 180 bags, and now we're at 320 or whatever. And what it triggered for me is my Africa experience. I cannot do this. And literally, I can't. It's like, for me right now, it's like a drug that if I get trapped in this taking care of people idea again, it'll mean the death of me, literally. And the reality is, does this mean I don't care? Absolutely not. I care deeply. I care deeply for, neighbors here that I might have an ill thought about. That's where I'm serving these days. I don't need to feed hungry children. We have hungry children here. They just look older. And it's like, and so my commitment is to really take that one and be present to, not to provide, not to take care of, not to fix anything for anyone, but to be a listening for it. And this, I think I've said it all. I mean, I just need to say, I love you all. And whatever you choose to get involved with, give it your whole heart. And if I don't participate in what you think is important, it's okay. Don't make me wrong. I won't make you right or wrong. I'll just continue taking the little ill thoughts I have of neighbors and transforming them so that I'm not making you wrong and I'm not making myself sick. Yeah.
I think it's very brave for you to be so raw and real. And that's what we're all called to be, raw and real. And as you were sharing, I realized that there are two possible alternatives in serving in any way. The first is to, as we were hearing from that gospel reading, to do so from the place of serving the least. Seeing someone as least means less than. So less than me. And thinking that it's my job to serve them. And really what this is the projection of hidden guilt. I am actually projecting my guilt in this situation with thinking that I'm really doing some good.
Yeah.
But when I realize there's no such thing as the least, that even if they're poor, even if they live in a village like San Pedro, this is the Christ. These are my brothers and my sisters. They are to be elevated no matter what it looks like. That I'm not projecting hidden guilt, I'm projecting love. In this way, I can be truly helpful. If I'm projecting hidden guilt, I'm never going to be satisfied. I'm never going to be happy. The truth is, there is always another village beyond that one. It never ends. And I'm going to be weighted down by that idea because there are so many other people who are less than me. And so I'm always going to be, I'm going to be depleted. But if I'm coming from that place of love, then if there's one child there that I connect with and truly see and hold in my heart, then I've done the whole thing. I've done the whole thing. So never get caught in the numbers, never get caught in what it looks like. Just go in there with your heart open, realizing that there's no such thing as the least of my brothers and sisters.
And I just want to say, and again, check your mind. Where are you making someone in this community wrong? It's real simple. Then go to, that's the person you need to work on and send love to. That's the needy child in whatever script we're looking through. And and I just need to say, our belief system, our culture is hardwired to deal with guilt by, oh, I'll give money. Oh, I'll spend a couple of hours and I'll do this. And somehow we think that absolves us of our guilt. And when I opened up to the Course in Miracles and saw how much guilt I had, I mean, again, it created cancer. I created cancer out of the amount of guilt I was hanging on to and not releasing in a healthy way. And for me, there was not enough of me to take care of everybody. And then there never will be. And I don't even want it to be at this point. I'm quite content in just watching my mind. And if I'm making you wrong, that's where my correction needs to be. I don't need to go to San Pedro at this moment. I have plenty to work on with my mind sitting right here. Whether it's noisy cats, doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's me seeing error. That's not right. Right, wrong. Those are going to get you. And we're hardwired to see right, wrong. This is good. This is bad. This is right. This is wrong. And we were trained that way. And so undoing this mind into a Christ mind is no small feat. And it takes everything. And I can't say that enough. It takes everything. And if you're willing to be happy, truly happy, being in the Christ mind, it's so well worth it. But these side trips that I took were not helpful for me. And I think we're at a place now we can all just, so Tuesday is San Pedro Day. Make the rest of the week a Namaste week, and look for where your mind needs correcting, where you're making someone wrong, where you're blaming someone for something. Because that's really what A Course in Miracles is talking about.
So just to shift gears a tiny bit, and this is in relation to seeing through the appearance and not judging on what it looks like. I'm going to out somebody here, but it's just so funny. I just love this. So we made two stops yesterday. One was right outside San Pedro. The other one was right in the town. And when we stopped outside San Pedro and all these children gathered, some of them were dressed very nice, had their hair done, and maybe me and others had this image in my mind that it was going to be like those commercials that I saw of the starving children in Africa, with distended stomachs and extremely malnourished, and these kids didn't have that appearance. And Jeff Jeff was looking around like he didn't get it. And then finally, when we got into the other part, which did look much more poor, he looked out the window and said, "Now that's more like it." Once again, only Jeff would say that. That's more. Now this is poor. This is what I was talking about. But that's the trap we fall into if we're judging by what it looks like. And this is the lesson for in every moment, to look through what it looks like, to look past what the appearance is, and to see only reality, to see only the truth, to see only the Christ, no matter what the appearance or disguise. So thank you, Calico.
Thank you.
It was wonderful of you to be so real. And let's turn to Vicky real quick and see if Vic has anything she'd like to share about this, and then Teddy.
Well, Vicky's actually, she's with me, but she can't talk right now. She's seeing her accountant.
Oh boy.
But I got to tell you something, Jimmy. You really opened up something in me that I would love to talk about and share. When I was first given the course when I went into rehab, And I knew it was from Jesus based on the experience I had. But, I didn't have for about 6 or 7 months, I couldn't find a copy of it. Then I found the bookstore down near where I was working at a restaurant. And I walked in and I saw how much money it was, and I couldn't afford it. So I bought one of Ken Wapnick's pamphlets and read the shit out of that until about a month later I could afford the $39 for it. And in the course, it says a couple things. Giving and receiving are one in truth. And you have to give to live. And so, I didn't know what to do about it all. And I just read the book and read the book and read the book. And then in the lawsuit, we won the suit and freed the copyright. And Jesus said to me, just print up the particular edition that I did and give it away freely. And that's what I've been doing. I used my money on one of the editions. And then I was told by Jesus that ask people for donations, because in the giving of the donations, somebody gives you $100, it gives them the ability to participate in the giving away of the Course in Miracles. So it's just an interesting thing, what you guys are talking about. It's like you have to give to live. That's what life is here. And in the following of the guidance, you get given what you need to give and how you should do it. And that's all that it's about, giving and receiving are one in truth. And of myself, I can do nothing. So, we're given those who we can do this with and what we're meant to do, because giving and living are one and the same. If you don't give, you can't live. So you give what you are given. You give of what you're given so that more can be received to give. And that's what you guys are doing down there, You're doing what you can do because you have to give to live. And it's better when it's not self-serving. It's serving your brothers. And that's what it's all about. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the story that you're telling rings true to my heart because of the fact that, it's just something that I've been given to do. And I never thought to do it. The guidance came. This is what you're meant to do, and this is how to do it. So that's what I do. It's interesting that I get the direction when I don't have the ability to use my own funds to do it, so that everybody can give of what they've received so that more can be given. And that's Jesus's plan. That's all I can say. And it operates in each of us to the best of our ability and in line with our sensibilities of how we feel, so that we can, feel good about what we're doing and be helpful to our brothers. So it is what we were talking about the other day. The gift that our brothers gives to us is our ability to be able to give, because giving is life, and we give to live. Um, that's about all I can say. But Dick she's here, she can now talk.
Hi, you guys. Anyway, Calico, I want to thank you, and Jimmy for bringing this all up so beautifully. But I want to say something.
I just have to say, I love the picture of your hand right now.
Oh, sorry.
We can read your palm.
Anyway, I just have to pick up on Calico because, I'm a born caregiver too, and I've been in and out of that role. And Calico, the same happened with me. When I saw the course, it answered how to really help. Like, I didn't want to just help, little help. I wanted big help from the time I was a kid, but I didn't know how to do it either. But the gift of it is heal or heal thyself. Always accept correction from myself if I'm seeing amiss anything but the Christ in my brother. And what it lands now in me is what I was saying the other day, to be with whoever is in front of me, whoever and wherever I'm guided in vision, to know I'm sitting in the presence of the one Christ, that one identity we share, and to sit in the joy of that, and then simply to follow guidance of the moment. That's why there's no prescription, there's no way to do it right or wrong. There's no comparison, there's no possible judgment, because all we know is right now what is the guidance that we get right now is the only help. And it lands in a way that if I see a call for help, I have to answer it. But I don't know what the answer will look like ahead of time, but I have to answer it in my heart. I have to, and the answer to it is to see my brother and myself as one in the light that we already are, and not to lose that perspective, or I lose myself and then I need more correction. So the correction is still back to the healer, heal thyself. There's no poverty out there. Where is the poverty in my mind? Where am I not living in the abundance of the love that I'm created in? And how do I get back there? And by standing still and asking for my own correction and being with whoever is sent to me, somehow the answer seems to come through into a grace of joining and communion. And I think for me, I feel like, Jimmy, our gathering over the last year has turned into that greater kind of being with in communion. And there's no model for what to do with that other than to do what you've been doing: be present, show up, answer every call for help, own it, take it as our own, and the wheel of projection and denial, and trust that the grace of true healing is within us, extending through us and upon us.
You know, what he says that all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. And the only one I have to forgive is myself. Because when I'm forgiven, I see everybody else forgiven. So, that's the job. Grievances hide the light of the world in me. So I have to discover the grievances in me that are hiding the light of the world and forgive myself for them and see things differently. That's all I could do.
I'll tell him. This morning we were driving. I know we're sorry we're driving now. We have a house showing, so we have to get back. And there was someone coming for, a street person looking for money. So I put my hand out with some money, and he got really mad and he punched me, but he didn't get me. But he right into the car. And this is the grace of doing this consistently. Both Teddy and I are sitting here, and he was violent and yelling and screaming. And I was so grateful. I said, "Oh my God, dear God, thank you. This is a call for help. I know how to answer. I know how to answer. I know how to answer." And it was such, I didn't smile in his face. I just said, and we stopped and we prayed and recognized, this is my brother, myself. We got to answer every call for help. It's our call. And when it's the most extreme, whether it's a judgment a brother is throwing at us, or an attack of some sort, or whatever it is, it's our own call for help. And we got to be busy about answering it within ourselves and not keep the projection going.
Amen.
Of course, my response was, kill them first and then forgive myself.
At least that's honest. Thank you, guys.
All forgiveness is self-forgiveness.
I'm going to bring Laurel up because Laurel, I can feel bubbling over here, and I would love to have her share something.
Good morning, everybody. Oh yeah, my heart's beating fast. I know there's a lot to share. I have a big download. I'm real excited. I love where this is going, because it keeps getting brighter. Like, how we look at ourselves and how we look at the world is extremely important, because we're either making suffering true or we're releasing it in its entirety, and it can be that simple. From the perspective of A Course in Miracles, one of the great things we learned together at the Academy, with the firm acknowledgement of Master Teacher, is that I'm making the world I see. And if I see a suffering world, I need help. And in the moment that I see it and I ask for help, it's undone. And that's the beauty of A Course in Miracles, is living in the reality that the suffering I perceive is singularly my mistake, no one else's. And the ability to release it doesn't come from my personal self, it comes from all the help of the universe, from God. So in any given moment, I'm making an objective world outside of me, or I'm realizing, wow, I have done this thing, and it is this I would undo. And this is a good moment to release it. When will be the other moment after I finish talking? Like, it has to be now or never. And living in that affords me to be joyful. I, for one, was really happy to see the little kids were, some were quite plump and they looked really healthy. And I'm like, great, you know? And it's so good to give them lunches and play with them and make them laugh. And they're making me laugh. And the addiction to suffering is not without an end. It can be given up now, and it can be given up now. And the fact that I'm making a world where I see suffering means I feel guilty, and I can release my personal guilt, and it is releasing the whole thing because it's not different. That's the fun of singularity, of knowing that there's nothing outside my mind. And what that affords me is joy, because if I had to live in a world where one child was suffering, there wouldn't be a God. If that was true anywhere at any time, reality couldn't be true. Truth is true. So all that suffering was undone. And then salvation is a game that happy children play. We're playing together as one mind, releasing the guilt. If it's the joy of feeding someone, or thinking about the crazy cat in heat that sounds like at the weirdest times all night. It's like, good on you, babe. I hope you get laid. Right? We don't know what anything is for, but if this is a game that happy children play, because we are the loving Father itself expressing. We're not just children. We are the expression of God here. And the certainty that only love is real is the life that we live now. We can extend that wherever we are. Does the whole world feel it? Everyone experiences every thought you have. So thank you for making a world of innocence with me today, where guilt is undone in its entirety right now. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, dear.
Thanks for the opportunity. Wow.
Salvation is a game happy children play. I think that is the perfect jumping off point for us. And to remember the very simple truth that whatever I give to thee is received by me. There's only one thing that's really happening here, and it's my willingness to see through the appearance and to perceive only love. I'm not giving out of guilt or because of I'm seeing the least of my brothers and sisters. I'm giving to the Christ. We talked about Mother Teresa the other day and why she was able to do what she did for so long, because she wasn't feeding the poorest of the poor. She was nurturing and loving the Christ. And if we do the same thing, then we will always be guided into how to give. But as we heard Teddy say, we have to give to live. We have to extend, because this is how we receive. What I give to thee is received by me. Let's keep it that simple, because it is that simple. So thank you, everyone. I think this was a beautiful discussion. For those of you who are not students of A Course in Miracles, that's fine. You know, people talk about the Course here. This is a universal lesson. Doesn't matter what book or what teaching or teacher you hear it through. But just hear it. Just hear it. And that being said, let's share our final prayer and really hear it. Maybe today will be the day that you truly hear this prayer and really take it in and realize that this is the truth. So let's share this together. I am the holy, perfect child of God, complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of God's love. In me is creation sanctified and guaranteed eternal life. In me is love perfected, fear impossible, and joy established without opposite. I am the holy home of love itself. I am the heaven where love resides. I am God's holy sinlessness itself, for in my purity abides God's own. And so it is. So namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I
Thank
love
you,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
See you again tomorrow. Adios.
Adios. Bye bye for now.